there, this is Karen. Thank you so much for coming across my channel. Today I am bringing you a very short, concise practice which is part of my 12 days of festive yoga practices, just little small practices for when you don't have that much time over the festive period. But obviously you can always come back to them again should you need to. And today I have a quick fix for any lower back issues or just a feeling of when your back feels quite tight. Obviously proceed with caution, never go to anything that feels painful, but these are just some of the few postures that I like to use in my practice if my back starts to feel a little tender. I always say take it just before your edge, don't go beyond it. And if anything does feel tangy and tight, just pause and hold there for about 5 breaths and you will tend to then feel something kind of ease and release. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to lie down on our backs and you don't need any equipment, just your lovely selves today. And just ease yourself down onto your back. And just for a moment, just bring the knees in towards your chest and maybe just rock softly side to side. And then gently release your feet down towards the floor, to the very edges of the mat. Bring your hands to the abdomen and just bring the knees together so they fall towards one another. And just feel this rise and fall of your belly as you breathe. Just noticing if there are any parts of you that do feel a little tender today, that you can send your breath to those parts and just feel so much better for practicing for about 10 minutes. And then we'll slowly begin to ease this right knee in towards your chest, and that should feel quite nice in the spine as well, just gently dropping the shoulders down, maybe easing the knee softly side to side. And then we'll start to lengthen that leg up towards the ceiling, holding the back of your leg, interlacing around the back of the thigh. And then from here, just point the toes towards the face, lift the heel up, and then point the toes towards the ceiling. Just doing that a few times just to warm the back of the hamstrings up. Quite often when we do have lower back issues, it is to do with our hamstrings being quite tight. So let's just ease them out here. Nice and slowly, and then that might turn into a little circling of your ankles. And then flex those toes quite strongly to the face, press your heel up towards the ceiling, drop the chin down, and feel like you're pressing your hand into your thigh and your thigh into your hand. Breathing here into this dynamic stretch. Focusing on sending your breath to those parts of the body that need it, and just gently anchoring the small of your spine down into the floor. From here, you're going to then release your right hand from that leg and bring it to the calf, and then just take it out to the side. So you're just extending and lengthening out here. Doesn't have to go to the floor. If you're going like this and your hips coming away from the floor, you're probably going too far. So like I said before, not going beyond your edge, just being connected to it. And then slowly using your muscles like they're wrapping around the head of your femur bone, bring that leg across, and then with your right hand bring that to the crease of the hip, and then press your left hand into that leg. And we're looking for this stretch in the IT band, typically quite a difficult muscle to stretch, and it does get a lot of use and it does get very tight. So just pressing it down here. I've got my foot handily against the wall, but you can go a little deeper if you want. And I often find that this muscle, when I'm stretching into it, I feel a little bit queasy, all to do with the sciatic nerve. So just take your time. As I said before, just using those maybe 5 breaths to find some softness here. So this is one of those areas in my body where I'm just like, ooh, that's a bit much. And once you breathe a little deeper into it, you can just feel it gently soften. So if this is working for you, please stay around and hang around in any of these stretches if that feels best for your body today. Or I'd like for you now to just bring that right leg softly back towards your center, bend your left knee, bringing it up, and then we're crossing that right leg directly on top, and I'm holding my legs like a pretzel. So if you need to lift your head up to get to that point, that's totally fine, feel free to. And you just want to keep rooting the small of your back down into the floor, soften those shoulders. So you're getting, again, a nice stretch through the IT band and around the glutes here. So just keep breathing into all the areas where you're feeling it. Keeping the back body rooted and anchored down into the floor. So the whole four corners of your back are really connecting to the mat. It's a nice grounding sensation. And then from here, you're going to uncross the legs, let that right leg go long as you inhale and hug that left knee in towards you. And you can just gently sway softly side to side, like you're just warming up the hip socket and you're just allowing everything in the body to soften into the earth. Start to flex your left toes up towards the ceiling. Take your hands behind that thigh, interlacing them. And we just have that flexion and pointing here. Kind of really helps to ease out through the calf as well. Keeping it nice and relaxed. And then slowly begin to rotate the ankle around, maybe getting rid of some little snap, crackle and pop noises that I just felt in mine. Feels good to have your feet out and free from any shoes. And then really flex those toes towards the face, like you're pushing your heel up towards the sky. Breathe into the back of your hamstring. Every exhale, feel your whole spine softening down into the floor. And then from here, you're going to bring that left hand on the inside of your calf. I'm quite close to my wall, so I'm going to ease away from the mat just a little bit, lifting my leg up and then just taking it out. And it doesn't have to go super far. You can even just land it on something if you're near a couch or near the wall. I'm getting a really nice stretch without it being like damaging on my body. I'm not dumping in my joints. I'm just breathing into it and enjoying it. Feeling the inner thigh and the groin softly opening up. Two more breaths. And then slowly begin to bring your leg up. And then we bring that left hand on the crease of the hip. And then we just bring our right hand onto the outer part of the calf. And we just press that leg down. And it doesn't have to go to the floor so you're opening up too much. You're just breathing in. And if you're wobbling a little, I went over there a little bit too. Breathe into that space. Feel that IT band kind of softening with your breath, with your intention. Two more big breaths here. And then slowly start to bring that leg back to center. I'm going to scooch my way back onto my mat again now, bringing that right knee underneath the left, pretzeling here. And it might be very different on this side. You might need to put something underneath your head if you're noticing your head's tilting back. You can even take your hands and interlace them behind the thigh if that's better than you holding onto the shins. So I would flex your feet here. It really helps to protect the knees. And just gently placing some light pressure onto your legs where your hands are so that you're deepening that stretch. Breathing into that left hip now. And then from here, we're going to uncross the legs. Bring the hands, wrap them around the knees and just slowly start to circle around like you're literally massaging the lower spine. Let's go back the other way. And then from here, we'll start to rock up and down on the back. So we're just coming up. Doesn't matter how many times you do it. And eventually just coming to a seat where we're just going to take a moment with our legs crossed and our hands on our knees, and just for a moment, just start to feel that there is energy rising through the sides of your waist, and any tension is just easing out through the sides or down through the back body. From here, start to extend and lengthen your right arm long, taking your left arm up to go over. It doesn't have to be too far. And then I want you to take this left hand and then push it away as you come all the way around, reaching that arm up to go over. And then pushing it away as you come all the way back and around. Bring your hands to your knees and let's cat-cow here. Inhaling, lifting up your chest. And then exhaling, rounding through the spine. Inhaling, lifting up through your chest. And then exhaling, easing into the spine. One more time, lifting up. And then gently exhaling, releasing. From here, bring your knees together. Bring yourself now onto your hands and your knees. And from this position, you're just going to lengthen. We'll go left leg first, pressing that foot back and just breathing into your left leg. Pulling the core in so that you feel nice and compact and connected. And then you're going to take that left leg up behind you and then squeeze your knee towards your nose. Squeeze it in and then curl and lift the chest up. Squeeze it in. And then curl and lift your chest up. And then squeeze it in. Keep squeezing. And then take that left foot to the very edge of your mat, turning out the toes. And from here, we're going to lift up with the chest and then exhale round the spine. We lift up with the chest and then we exhale rounding the spine. One more time here, lifting up. And then can you go a little deeper? Now your answer might be no, I cannot. Or you might go to your forearms here, breathing into that space in your hip. Taking some nice big breaths, making sure that you're not clenching through your jaw or your teeth. It's quite a common occurrence in hip openers. So just give yourself the message to let go. And then from here, we press our forearms in towards the earth. You're going to keep that left leg where it is. Now my body is going to stretch all the way over to the right. So I keep pushing my hip over to the left and I'm stretching my body over to the right. Now if your spine is feeling tender, you don't have to force this. You can just be here, you can just be here, just exploring a little bit of space in the side body. Let's take 3 big breaths here. And then slowly easing your way back towards center, taking this left foot and bringing it across the mat, allowing your hip bones to lower towards the ground. And you're looking to keep your hips nice and square as your knee bends. If this becomes too much, you can come onto your back and you can just take a nice supine pigeon. It's pretty similar to what we did when we had the legs in a bit of a pretzel, but you'll be making that kind of 90-degree angle with the knee this time. Okay, from here, if you're in this variation of pigeon, we're going to lift up the chest as we inhale and then gently drip feed the body down. Let's do that twice more. Inhaling, rolling up, and then exhaling, easing down. One more time to feel into that lifted, lengthening action, and then we're going to fold down into the floor. And let's be here for about 8 breaths. From here, start to press your hands into the earth to peel yourself up and away. And then from here, you're going to take that leg all the way back behind you, sinking back into child's pose, really stretching out through the spine. If you want to create a bit more space, come on to tented fingertips here. Just let the head melt down. Imagining someone's hands pressing your hips back down towards the floor. And then from here, we're going to come onto our hands and knees once again. From this position, we'll start to extend the right leg out long here. Really push down into the earth as you push into your hands. Get a nice stretch through that calf. And then we're going to take that right foot all the way to the top of the mat, turning out the toes on this 90-degree angle. We'll take these cat-cows here. So you inhale, lift up, and then you exhale, round out. Let's do that again. Inhaling, lifting up, and then exhaling, easing out. 2 more times. Inhale, lift up, exhale, easing out. Let's do 1 more here, really lifting through the heart. And then exhaling, folding down into your variation of lizard. So it could be that you have blocks here. It could be you stay right on top of your fingertips. No worries at all. So you're just going to go to where feels good. Remember to soften everything as you send the awareness and your breath to your hips. And then from here, keeping nice and low to the ground, start to stretch all the way away from that right leg. So you're pushing your hips to the right as you stretch your leg out, or stretch your arms out rather. Breathing in. Two more breaths. And then creep yourself gently back towards your center, toe heeling this right foot all the way across the mat. You can bring that heel a little closer to your groin if you need to, so it doesn't have to be like in a right angle. Then extend that back leg a little more so you can come lower to the floor. Let's bring our fingertips at the side of the mat. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale, drip feed the body down. Let's do 2 more. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhale, we drip feed the body down. 1 last time to fill yourself up with air. And then gently melt down into this stretch where we fold into the earth. And then we press our hands down into the floor to come up away from that stretch. This time we're just going to sweep that back leg forwards to come to a seat. And then when you find that seat, just taking a moment to plug the fingertips down into the earth to lift up nice and tall, hopefully feeling a little bit more spacious through the spine now. Start to reach your arms all the way up to the ceiling. And then bring your hands into prayer at your heart center, taking a moment to be thankful for your incredible body, to know that you can use this practice to nurture it when you need it. And just to know that with slowing down and the power of our breath, that we can provide ourselves with sense of ease and comfort whenever we are feeling in a little bit more of a tender spot. So we bow our head in thanks and appreciation of all of these things. And then coming back into your room now with hopefully a little bit more of a feeling of suppleness through the spine. Just come back to this practice whenever you need it. If you're feeling that your back is quite tight, maybe doing this a couple of times a week just to feel into a little bit more looseness in the spine. And I really hope that helped. And thank you so much for joining me. Thank you. Bye-bye.